Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. And look, we have our wonderful friend back, Zaddy Returns.
Hello, everybody.
How you been?
Oh, I've been great. I've been great. I've been great.
Wonderful. Well, last time you were here, you shared a lot with us about your life and about your career. And of course, life's always throwing something our way. So what do you want to share with us today?
Um, well, I wanted to go a little bit deeper into exactly what it was I experienced uh after being delivered from the drugs. There was still something that was left behind from being addicted to the drugs, and once becoming clean and going through rehab and everything. Uh, what was left behind was the mental disorder that was induced by the use of these drugs for all these years. Um, and uh, just want to talk about what I experienced and what I went through, and how it affected me. And basically, uh, there was not only a deliverance from the drug, there was a deliverance from uh, what the doctors diagnosed as schizophrenia, but what my pastor diagnosed as intensive spiritual warfare.
Okay. Wow. You have really and truly been through a lot. So how did you cope with those things?
Um, a lot of prayer. Um,
Yes.
there was a lot of prayer. And listening to the doctors as well. I did take the medication that the doctors gave me because, for the most part of the medication, because it was like three different medications. Um, one of the medications was a sleeping medication to actually help me sleep because with the constant voices in my head, which were pretty much voices that were tearing me down, quote unquote, I was pretty much in my head reading myself daily, on the regular, 24 hours nonstop. Um, and So the sleeping medication pretty much helped me sleep so I could actually be able to sleep because part of audible hallucinations is deprivation of sleep. Any type of hallucination, deprivation of sleep induces hallucinations. And pretty much uh, audible hallucinations is what pretty much which was described to me as schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia. Um, and it was drug induced, and I was told that it could not be reversed. That I had depleted all of the dopamine, which is the chemical that your brain produces when you experience intense pleasure, like whether it be euphoria from a drug, or whether it be even like uh, when you orgasm through sex. Um, that's what you're feeling is this chemical that your brain is pumping uh, through your body to feel that. And I had depleted all of that. So basically, taking the medication, um, a lot of talking in my head to God to try to like drown out the voices I was hearing, which, like I said, my pastor described to me as spiritual warfare, and I was told that basically uh, what I had opened myself up to by introducing these chemicals into my human body, which was basically opening myself up on a spiritual level to be able to hear demonic spirits as well as angelic spirits. Explained to me. But the doctors were saying basically it was schizophrenia. So a lot of prayer, also taking the medication. The medication basically wasn't to like make it go away. It was like for me to be able to deal with it. Abilify was one of the medications I was on, which was basically to keep me calm and I guess not and to fight me from being depressed from this, because it is a depressing state to know that basically you're hearing this and it won't go away.
Wow. Ooh, that's deep. Um, so what else can you tell us that you went through from the drugs or just from what else can you tell us?
Well, basically, um, the diagnosis was drug-induced schizophrenia and audible hallucinations. Um, and basically, what it sounds well to describe to you, okay, what it was I was going through was basically there were voices that were real to me that
Mhm,
I could hear that you wouldn't hear if you were sitting in the same room. Sometimes these voices was clear as day, just as you're sitting there talking to me. They would be sometimes just that clear. Um, Sometimes they would sound like as if they were coming through a telephone or the television. Um, and even sometimes uh, you sitting and talking to me.
mhm.
Um, I can see your lips moving. I can hear the words that you were saying, but my brain would be computing that you were saying something different than what you were saying. Like you could say, "You look nice today," and my brain would compute that, "Hey, she said you ugly."
Oh wow.
So that's how intense it was. There were times I would be in my apartment and be stuck in my apartment because I would be afraid to go outside because some of these voices would be telling me that there was somebody outside to kill me or I would be in danger if I went out. Sometimes they would tell me I would be in trouble if I went out. The police was looking for me for something. This um, disorder also had me paranoid to the point where I felt like that the voices were some. This couldn't be. Well, and in the beginning, before I went to the doctor and found out, okay, what was actually going on, what I was going through was feeling like I was a part of some type of government. Um, what do they call it? Depopulation program. I felt like I was a targeted individual where the government had targeted me for some reason to basically force me to take myself out by putting me through what I was going through. I felt like the voices were being electronically transmitted to my brain through some type of technology. Um,
Mhm.
Sometimes I felt like as if everything I thought they could hear or basically they were communicating through me through my phone. This is what all I was thinking before I realized what was going on once I went to the doctor and got medical attention. Once I got medical attention, I knew, okay, basically my reality was not everyone else's reality. And these were thoughts in my head. Nobody else could hear them. And basically, it was all about um, recognizing what my reality was and what it wasn't. So it was a lot of phone recording with your voice recorder. So just in the room with the phone recording, and then going back and playing and not hearing anything is how I was able to differentiate when I was hearing something and when I wasn't. Um, Even sometimes hearing the neighbor's radio downstairs play through the floor, I would hear something different than what was on the radio. So um, a part of coping with that was turning the radio on the same station they had downstairs, so it was clearer to me what was being said. So my brain wouldn't compute something different. Um, it even it even became physical. And I tell you, the brain is a powerful thing because um, it became so physical to the point that sometimes um, these voices would make me feel like I had to use the bathroom, or my body would feel like I had to go to the bathroom. I would go and I would sit on the toilet, couldn't use the bathroom, but I felt like if I got up, I was going to use the bathroom on myself. And the voices in my head was telling me, um, and this some of the times this would happen on Sundays when I was getting ready to go to church. Oh, you're not going to church today because we 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 ain't releasing you to church over. And I would be sitting on the
Mm.
toilet sometimes, missing church, feeling like I got to use the bathroom, and that feeling wouldn't go away until church was over. Um, and that's why like a lot of the stuff to me made sense what my pastor was saying opposed to what my doctors were saying, because this had to be some type of spiritual force of nature that was basically plaguing me. Um, I basically, it had to be. Um, Especially once I talked to my pastor and explained to him what was going on with me, and why I got in that, how I got in that situation. And he explained to me that basically you opened your, and I opened myself up to be able to uh, hear on that level. I was opening myself up to hear on a level that the human body shouldn't hear on. Um, he even gave me an example of um, like back in the day with the Indians, how when they talked to the gods, they smoked on a peace pipe because it elevated them to a level where they were able to hear on that spiritual level or spiritual realm. And that's what was described to me by my pastor. And I have no reason not to believe that's what was going on, because as I stated in the last interview, um, after believing that God would deliver me from hearing these voices and deliver me from what the doctor diagnosed me as, once he put his hands on my ears with this oil that they gave me, it never happened again but one other time. And I can explain that later, um, as far as like um, how this, how I know I've been delivered from it. And God sometimes gives us messages or sends us signs on when to cut people off, or when to go in the other direction, or when you're in danger.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, as far as the doctor saying that you had schizophrenia, were they trying to say that you only had that because of the drug use? I mean, because
It
I
was
mean, I've
drug.
never used drugs, but I
It
mean,
was
if you're
called a
going,
drug. It was a drug-induced schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia is what the doctor's diagnosis was.
so they weren't trying to say that you were going to have it like forever, just because
It was
you were
irreversible.
okay. So once you overcame the drugs, and that would go away.
No, it was induced by the drugs,
Mhm.
and by me putting myself in this situation to develop schizophrenia. I had did brain damage. The drugs damaged
So,
my brain to the point where they gave me schizophrenia. And schizophrenia is there is no cure for it. It's not reversible. They say the only thing that they could do is give you skills to cope with it. Going to the psychiatrist every week and talking about what you're going through, and giving you tools, and basically that was one of the tools they gave me. Um, Record. You want to try to realize what your reality is opposed to real world reality. You want to be able to. They gave me tools to try to figure out when I was experiencing this and when I wasn't.
so as far as going to the psychiatrist, do it help any?
Um, it helped me cope with uh, realizing that, okay, I was out of my mind, and knowing that I was out of my mind and couldn't do anything about it. That was depressing. That was debilitating to me. However, it was also helpful to me to know that, okay, um, what you're experiencing, even though it was a hard thing to go to, it's not real. Like sometimes I would force myself to go out of the house. Like I would be so like so in the house and like so depressed and so scared and so terrified of the things that were being said to me in my head that sometimes the psychiatrist say, when you're feeling that way, okay, look out the window. You know the police are not out the window. You know that's not going on in the courtyard because there's nobody in the courtyard talking.
Mhm. Okay.
So sometimes look out the window. When you get in the situation, look out the window. Okay, if you think you hear something in the hallway, go in the hallway. Prove to yourself, prove to your brain, because once you see it, okay, then you start to believe it. That
Mhm.
okay. So once I go in the hallway and realize that there's nobody in the hall talking, um, okay, uh, that particular voice goes away because there was multiple voices at at one time. Um, in certain situations, and this is another reason why I feel like it was a not a medical or a mental disorder. It was a spiritual warfare. I moved to stay with my grandmother. And in my grandparents' house, um, I only heard the voices in the bedrooms I slept in. Nowhere else in the house. I,
Mhm.
And if I would leave out of the bedroom, the voices would go away. When I came back in the bedroom, it was like a recorder stopped and someone pushed play when I walked back in. Um, at that time, I didn't know, okay, what was going on, because this was prior, when I was staying with my grandparents, this was prior to me going into the hospital and getting treatment. I was off of the drugs, and I was figuring in my head, okay, this is going on because of the drugs, and once I'm off the drugs for a while, it'll go away. Um, Getting off the drugs wasn't a fix for it. And I was trying to hide it. Okay, I was hearing these voices and these strange things were happening. I was trying to hide it from my family. Um, and But at my grandparents' house, I would only hear them in that room, in the bedroom that I slept in.
Mhm.
My grandparents are anointed. Well, my grandfather was. He's passed now. But my family's a anointed family, a blessed family, a favored family, God fearing. Um, Everywhere in that building, other than in that bedroom, is where I heard it.
How old were you when the drug use started?
When I started the drugs, or
Like how old were you? Like what age were you? Were you like in your 20s?
no, 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 no. This was like, um, I started doing the drugs like around 2000 and I want to say 12, 12, 2012, 2013. Because I was on
Okay.
it for like about 2, 3 years, like around 2012, uh, 2013. So this is what getting ready to be 2022. So about almost about approximately 9 to 10 years ago. So I was about 35, 30,
Okay.
36.
Okay. So when you were experiencing the drugs, how did it affect not only your life but your career?
Um, it didn't affect it at all because basically, well, as far as like my entertainment career, I stopped competing because while I was on the drugs, I didn't want to do anything but party, and basically the particular drug actually led to uh, sex parties for days. And basically, so I was missing like bookings and stuff like that because I was at somebody's house or had a group of guys at my house for almost 2 or 3 days in an orgy. So as far as my entertainment career, I stopped competing. I had already stopped like working at the club because I moved to Chicago back in 2008, and there was not um, there was not really any clubs that paid me the type of money I was used to making as far as competing. I mean, as far as like working in the club. So I had stopped working in the club unless it was like a paid booking where they were paying me what I wanted to be paid as an entertainer. But as far as like competing and traveling and going here and going there, I stopped competing. Um, I had stopped going out to the club. Um, and I think well, actually prior to that, I had stopped going to the club anyway because I had a job working as a general manager for Family Dollar. That took a lot of my time. I was at work a lot, and I did a lot of hours. Um, so as far as that was concerned, the drug tended to like help me um, with working all those hours because it actually keeps you woke as well. So I would be up all night having sex at a group session, leave, go to work, do my hours at work, go back to the session if it's still going on. So it didn't really affect my my day job, but as far as like entertaining, that was like null and void. Other than creating a web series here on YouTube, um, pretty much basically what I was doing was editing videos from uh, the Glide app and posting them to YouTube. They're still here on YouTube now, but I have them locked because I'm going to do something with all of those videos. Um, when I do a documentary on the story that I'm telling now, because I feel
Okay.
like there definitely needs some type of structure and some type of documentary to like I actually like tell this full story because I can tell you stories and stories and stories about the things I experienced while on this drug, and then what I experienced after with dealing with uh, what the drugs cause mentally or spiritually. Um, so the only entertaining I was doing was in front of my camera. Um, Doing shows. They created the girl character Vegas. I was recording every day on this Glide network. It was the closest thing. This was before there were live videos, so the closest thing to live was recording a 5 minute video and then posting it, and then people responding to it with their videos. That was the close. That was right before live people going live actually even existed on these apps. Um, so basically, I was doing shows in my home and basically this character, it was like a reality show with this character because even while I was high, like if I go to the store or whatever, the camera was on. The only time the camera wasn't on because we couldn't do like they did have rules where you couldn't like uh, show sexual things of that nature on Glide. So that's the only time that I would come off of Glide is like when I was like in a sexual situation. But other than that, us just chilling around the house and listening to music or me. I had ideas like for shows. Like I had a show called The Reading Rainbow that I did where I recorded it. And it was 5 minute videos, and I took it and I edited them and made a whole episode with the Reading Rainbow. So I was still like entertaining, but in my home, recording it on a phone. Um, this is actually what catapulted the career that I'm in now, my film career, because by me taking these videos and editing these videos, although I was in an induced stage, it brought out creativity in me, and people saw these videos and was saying you should go to school. And all while I was getting high, I was saying I'm gonna go to school for this. I'm gonna go to school for this. I didn't go to school for it until after I was uh, off the drug and out of rehab, um, and dealing with the schizophrenia. I went to school my freshman year. I almost dropped out because of the voices. I thought people were uh, out to get me at school. Like uh, I would assume that people were talking. Two people could be having a conversation. They could be talking about somebody else, but I would assume that they're subliminally talking about me. Um, so me being delivered from the mental disorder or the spiritual warfare, whichever you want to call it, have whatever your beliefs are. Me personally, I believe it was spiritual warfare, because I haven't taken medication since the day the the pastor touched my ears with the oil, and I haven't had that problem except for once, one time, and that was on BIGO, less than a year ago, um, and I had been off the drugs and hadn't heard the voices for years. Uh, Before I came on BIGO, and for me to like have an isolated incident that actually caused me to hear something that I recognized from back when I was experiencing this daily, it scared the heck out of me, and I went the opposite direction from that person.
What inspired your character Vegas?
Um, the drugs.
Okay.
That's what created it. The drugs is what created that character. Now, what inspires it now is basically being that I'm on an app where it's accepted. People tend to gift you and support you uh, for that type of content. Once I saw that, um, me knowing that okay, I have the capability of bringing a character like that onto Vigo uh, is what inspired it. Knowing that okay, I may that could be a part of my content and that could actually equate me making more money on this app because now I've expanded my content.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, of course, you know I enjoy following you on Vigo, and you are a wonderful entertainer. I've sat there and I have watched you do your makeup, I do your hair, everything. Is there anybody or anything that inspire how you do your makeup?
Um, I really don't have like the only thing that inspires me about doing my makeup is actually like uh getting better at it. It's not a particular person that inspires me. I've been around people doing makeup for years, and basically once you get good at it, you're good at it. And I've seen people that are like impeccable at doing makeup. Um, so what inspired me to do makeup and get better at it was to try and give an airbrush look, or make myself look like somebody drew me with a pencil, or with an airbrush. Uh, and the closer I can get to that, um, that's my inspiration. Like improving, learning new tips and new tricks to learn how to do certain things to get the look that I want.
Okay. Um, like I said, I follow you a lot on BIGO, and I've noticed that you have gone through a lot of things on BIGO itself as far as bullying is concerned. What can you share with us about that?
Um, well, in order to tell you why I feel like because I feel like everyone on the app at some point uh, can and will be bullied because they're trolls on there, and basically you have what I call basic trolls. There are going to be people on there that just troll you just because uh, trolling is what they do. I've come to realize that as long as I'm going to be there, as long as anybody's going to be there, trolls are going to be there as well. Um, however, I've I've experienced uh, what I say once again. Uh, what my pastor told me, like anytime that God has something for you where you're going to flourish financially, uh, you're going to go under a spiritual. You're going to go into a spiritual warfare. There are specific demons out here that are going to attack you and try to prevent you from flourishing financially.
And I truly believe that because, like I told you, I kind of go through the same thing myself. When God is getting ready to bless me with something, it's like always going through something, some kind of drama or something like, okay, like what's really going on? And like you said, it's just God getting ready to move you from one place to something better.
And see, I realized, like, just looking back, um, when I was on the drugs, um, for most of the time that I was on the drugs, I was not experiencing uh, the schizophrenia, the voices, the warfare, the entire most of the time that I was on. This was not happening. This happened towards the end, um, because when it started to happen, I had already started like saying I was getting ready to go to film school. I had discovered I had uh, a, a talent for video editing and basically setting the camera up. I had realized that there was a hidden talent there that I didn't know I had. Something that I hadn't even knew that I was interested in until me being on these drugs, me picking up the camera and creating episode after episode. And uh, I feel like the devil saw that, okay, he's realized that, okay, this is his calling to be a filmmaker, and him becoming a filmmaker is going to have him flourish financially. He's going to be great at what he does, and it's inevitable. He's going to blow up. He's going to make money.
Hmm.
That's when these voices started. They were
Wow.
they were
Mm.
to it was to prevent me from flourishing. Um, but where the devil's mistake was is actually uh, picking that way to stop me, like the voices, because the voices is what actually stopped me from doing the drugs, and knowing that something was wrong, and realizing that something's not right. Also, uh, not knowing back then why I wasn't experiencing the euphoria that you get from using the drug. It had got to a point where I wasn't even experiencing the euphoria because I had depleted all my dopamine. So me being who I am, why the hell I'm gonna keep doing this shit and I can't feel it? What's the purpose?
Right.
So that's and then also then things getting weird, um, to the point where it scared me. Like, okay, something's not right, and I feel like okay, I had saw other people experience uh, uh, visual hallucinations. Never knew anybody had audible hallucinations, but I had experienced people from partying with different people. Some people, when they get high or whatever, they would experience these hallucinations or visual hallucinations, or they start acting crazy or weird. And I saw it started happening to me.
Mm,
Um, and so that's what made me. I didn't need to go to no doctor. I didn't need to go to no rehab to like get off the drugs. None of that. I went cold turkey and was like, I'm not doing it no more. I stopped selling it. I stopped doing it. I lost my apartment behind it. That also was like something that was embarrassing to me to lose my apartment behind uh, me living this lifestyle, and I had to move back home. So moving back home with my grandparents, that definitely was not going on there. So
mm,
that's what actually ended up pulling me off of the drugs. But I had no idea that once coming off the drugs, I still had to experience this this situation that quote unquote that the doctor said was caused by the drugs. Um, and I feel like it got worse because my thing is this: if I wasn't doing the drugs, why was the situation getting worse? Because at first I didn't hear, like I said, I didn't hear him all the time. Like at my grandparents' house, um, only when I went in that room,
mm.
and things got weirder and weirder and weirder. And I wasn't the more I was, the longer I was off the drugs, things got weirder and weirder and weirder, um, to the point where I almost killed myself.
Oh, wow.
Um, by arguing with the voices, taking pills, saying the pill. They telling me if you tired of hearing us, take yourself out. That's not gonna work. If I pop these all these pills, God's still gonna save me because He's not through with me. And I'm arguing with the voices, and me being
So, mm,
combative with the voices took the pills just to prove a point to them, and I almost killed myself because
mm,
I took pills. I proved to them that okay, God went through with me because if that's the case, when I took those pills, I would have died.
mhm. So
So
basically, when you were by yourself,
mm, well,
that's when
actually,
all those voices would really start. Was when you was by yourself.
mm,
Wow.
and that's the thing. When I was around others,
Mhm.
in the beginning, I wasn't hearing anything, and so I was seeing this progress. Even though more and more time was going with me being off of the drug, but this situation mentally, what I thought was mental, was progressing. Now looking back, hindsight, um, this was to prevent me from walking into my destiny. To prevent me from going to film school, to prevent me from becoming a filmmaker, um, to prevent me from, because like with the way I was thinking and with what was going on, even competing in pageants and doing it, I didn't have any confidence in myself anymore because I had
Mhm.
been beat up so much in my head that okay, you're not good, you're a flop, you're this, and I had started to believe some of the things that these voices were saying to me. I went into a great depressed state. I didn't believe in myself anymore. So all of this was to prevent me from excelling and doing what God's purpose was for me to be some type of entertainer or to be in the film industry and to be creating and to be a content creator. Um, and that's why I say this for me, this looking back hindsight 2020, this had to be spiritual warfare. It couldn't have been some type of drug induced mental disorder that the doctor said, because if that's the case, I've been off the drugs and it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I tell you that devil always trying to pull you back in, to where you were. The devil's always trying to keep you down so you can't get to where you want to be. So when the drugs started, did your family notice a difference in you? Did you have anybody to stand by you while you
Um,
going through all that?
when I got on the drugs, I isolated myself from my family. Um, I always came up with an excuse not to come to the family events or holidays. I always uh, I would sometimes well actually sometimes when they called and say like one time it was my grandfather's birthday or something, they was going out to eat, and I was invited. I couldn't go because I was stuck on the toilet,
Mhm. Wow.
or some reason, or come up with a reason that I was sick.
Hmm. So then that made them know that something was probably wrong.
So basically, But I've always been that type of person anyway. Like when I left when I left home out of high school, I went away to the army. Once I
Okay.
went away to once I went away to the army and went abroad, I had got used to not being around my family. So even when I moved back to Chicago, um, with me living the lifestyle that I live, um, I tend to not go around them a lot. Uh, to not, even though I'm accepted in my family for who I am, they know about my sexuality. Not to throw that or rub that in their face to put them too much in my business. Because uh, no shade before the drugs, still, um, I will say I was a promiscuous gay man. Um, so before the drugs, it was like the drugs and doing the sex parties. Before the drugs, I was still throwing like sex parties and stuff. So that was the lifestyle that I was living, and the lifestyle that I was living, there was no room to like for me to be around my family, for them to be in my business. So to keep them out of my business, I stayed away from on the opposite side of town, and I only went to visit for uh like family occasions and stuff like that. I didn't do too much visiting. Um, while on the drugs, I did a lot of communicating with my family on the phone. I never lost communication with them, but um, I'm sure they noticed I had stopped coming around. I think for one, I think it had went one time one whole year I hadn't been over to the other side of town to see my family. So
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure they kind of sensed something was going on, but then again they probably didn't because like my cousin that's on that just came on BIGO now that you met, Classy Goat. Classy
Uh-huh.
Goat was actually following me on Glide, um,
Okay.
and actually seeing me on the drugs. But she told me the other day she didn't know, she couldn't tell, because it was something I hid pretty well. This particular drug, you really can't tell a person is high unless you just like unless you're like when they're like real, like when they first do it and they're like in this hormonal sexual stage, that okay, if it's a sexual thing, everybody doesn't see that anyway. Only the people that are around you when you're in that state, and basically you're this horn dog, just want to fuck all day, and you can't get your climax. So you steady chasing this orgasm. You steady chasing, and sometimes it may take 2 or 3 days to get this orgasm. So of course, family and friends and stuff like that wouldn't be around you while all that's going on anyway. Um, and so basically, it was kind of like hid from them. And basically, when they did see me or when they did hear from me, I wasn't acting any different than I normally act.
Okay.
So if they had no idea. Um, my brother had an idea because I did share with him that I was like dealing this particular drug, and basically me and him had a conversation. He was like, "Well, whatever you do, don't get on it." But and I was swearing up and down to him, bro. I got this. I got this. I'm getting money. I'm getting money. I'm getting money. So he had an idea once I moved to my grandmother's house, and then he could tell the difference uh in me, but everyone else they couldn't. And I think the only reason he saw a difference in me is because he knew that I was selling it. And he was side eyeing me anyway. The reason why you done lost your apartment and why all this crazy shit going on, you got into it with your landlord and all that. So I'm pretty sure he was side eyeing me like something ain't right.
Right.
Um, but other than me not just being around, that could have probably only been the only sign that I was on the drugs.
So did you start using the drugs first, or did you start selling it first?
Um, I started using it first, and the drug dealers that sold this type of drug in Chicago, I now know hindsight. Okay, these were the people that I was getting it from was on it, and people that are on it, they tend to do a lot of procrastination. They're always late. So basically, once I got on it, I got tired of waiting for the drug dealer to say he's coming to deliver it and he not come for 6 hours because he was probably procrastinating or somewhere couldn't break himself from trying to chase his climax with somebody or whatever. So basically, the work ethic of these particular dealers that I was dealing with, where I was getting it from. Um, and really it wasn't me. Actually, I wasn't getting it from the dealers. I was getting it through a friend of mine that actually had introduced me to it. But and I would give him the money to get the stuff, but we still sitting waiting for hours and hours. And I would complain like, man, why we gotta wait this long? I was like, how much this shit costs? Because in the beginning I didn't even know. I'm like, how much this shit costs if I buy it in bulk and sell it myself? Because the work ethic of these dealers around here is just like unacceptable. I was like, if I sold this, okay, this is the type of dealer I would be at XYZ, and that's how I ended up dealing it because I wasn't pleased with the work ethic of the dealers that I was getting it from. And I will say not to like brag about this, but the type of dealer I was is I was an educating dealer. Anyone that came to me to get it, they were educated on what they were purchasing and how to use it and how not to overdose on it. And please don't kill yourself from a batch I sold to you. That's another reason why I ended up doing so much of it because any batch that I received in, I was testing it myself to make sure that it was safe to sell to individuals because I didn't want to harm anyone. All of that was going on with me, and that just my heart, um, and how I am as a person. I would hate to have sold something to somebody, and then the next time I hear something, somebody saying they overdosed, and I'm the last one dealt it to them. So that's basically the type of dealer I was. It was like I was very educating. A lot of the times to keep down foot traffic from my apartment where I was selling it at. If you came to purchase it, if you came to me and I didn't come and bring it to you, if you came to me, you had to sit down in my house for 30 minutes before you left because I didn't want heavy foot traffic. I wanted to make it look like you was a friend just coming to visit. So during that time, I did a lot of educating. There was even a website about this drug that told you everything, and I did a lot of research on it. And
Mhm.
I was just like I'm very BIGO savvy and know a lot about BIGO. I knew a lot about that, and I was always like educating on it. And I was a counselor to some people that was on it, going through situations. I'm like, okay, you don't see that. Okay, you doing too much. You doing too much. If this is what's happening, okay, you can't let it do you. You got to do it. And for the most part, for a long time, I had it under control. But I guess the more and more customers I got, and the more I had to like keep replenishing my stash, so it got up to me doing uh 4 or 5 times a day doing the drug because I was selling that much. I was re-upping 4 and 5 times a day. So
So what kind of drug was this? Was this
it was
particular
crystal meth.
drug?
It was crystal meth.
Oh, so was it mixed with a sex drug?
No, crystal meth is a sex drug.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it pretty much makes you horny.
Wow.
Most people that are on crystal meth have a lot of sex. I know
Okay.
that's the way it was introduced to me in a sex party setting. I was already like, because of the type of the promiscuous homosexual I was already on a underground sex party circuit where I threw sex parties. I had friends that threw sex parties. These were events that we did. It wasn't like put out there to the public. It was like a secret society where okay, you know this person, you know that person. Okay, and I would have parties where actually the sex party some at one point was paying my rent. This was way before I even got on the drugs. So being in that environment and then individuals coming to the sex party on this drug is how I ended up being pulled into trying it for the first time because I was in a situation where people and even like when you would go to the sex parties, the people that did it, they would go in one room and do it, and then they would come in the room where everybody else is at, and you know, wondering like, okay, why was he? Is he? He wasn't horny. He wasn't that horny when he went in there. He wasn't even trying to get with me. Now he done came out this room. He's trying to get with everybody. What's going on? And so
Mm.
when it was explained to me, okay, what was going on and what people were doing in that room, I was like, I want to try it. Um, and I tried it, and I ended up liking it, and I got sucked into that lifestyle.
Wow.
Um, for at a point, um, I was only associating with individuals that was on it. People that was not on it, I didn't associate with. Like I said, I isolated myself from my family, all other friends. If you wasn't in that particular like circuit of individuals that did this,
Mhm.
um, I really didn't have time for you.
So did all of this happen? Did you start using the drug before the military or afterwards?
I was 35. I got out of the military years ago. Years, years,
Okay,
years,
so
years.
it's
The
years later.
military. I got out of the military in '97. This is
Okay,
this is in the last 10 years.
okay,
Me getting on it and getting off, and all this is in the last 10 years. I've been out of the military since '97. I only
okay,
did 4 years in the military, so I wasn't even 21 when I got out of what was that? No, I wasn't 21 when I came back from Germany, but when I got out of the army, I was like about 22, 23. Let me see,
okay.
18. I went in at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I was like 21, 22 when I got out.
So, what was your experience like in the military?
Um, my experience in the military, I loved it. I did become an alcoholic, a blackout
Mm,
alcoholic in the military because we did a lot of drinking. But for the most part, the military matured me because when I went into the military, it was fresh out of high school. I was sheltered, and pretty much imagine getting out of high school and then your first duty station in Germany, where the legal drinking age for U.S. Army is 18, and you can go
mm,
to the club. So basically, it was a lot of drinking, a lot of card playing. Um, Actually, I had my first gay experience. That's where I discovered that I liked men in the
okay,
military. Prior to that, um, I wasn't like trying to get with no guys or nothing.
okay. Wow. So, what do you have new going on that you can talk about other
Um,
than your documentary?
well, I'm actually getting ready to make a move from the app that we were on BIGO. I'm getting ready to make a move to a new app as a
Okay,
host. I will still remain on BIGO um, with my productions, but I'll be doing that as a non-host, hosting. Well, pretty much, I guess it wouldn't be hosting, but pretty much uh, heading productions. I'll still have my lip sync battle. I'll still have my cast that's on Bigo. I'll still have my vocalist battle. However, I won't be doing it as a contracted host. I'll be just doing it as uh, a non-host um, gifter, I guess you would say, um, because I won't be I won't be using the account that I'm contracted under. I'm just gonna stop hosting on that account. I'm gonna stop even just logging in. Um, there are issues that I'm having with my agent. I really don't know if I should even talk about that right now until I just stop hosting because I don't want this last check to be affected because I spoke out about it. But if you want to do another interview once I stop hosting, I'll be more than happy to come and go over that
okay,
what I experienced with that. Um, but I just no longer want to work under the agency that I'm working under on Bigo, and there's a better opportunity for me on another app, which I'm not going to reveal that either because I'm moving with my Bigo family. Our entire family is moving, and basically we were instructed to keep that under wraps until we make the official move and an announcement. But yeah, I'm going to be hosting on another platform other than Bigo. But as far as my productions, I'll still be seen on Bigo with those productions,
all
and
right,
that'll be my way
wonderful.
of giving back and supporting to individuals that depend on me because a lot of individuals depend on me and my support um, by participating in my productions. A lot of them are international hosts who have smaller quotas than we have over here, and the beings that they collect by sitting on my panel and displaying their talents actually push some of them to their quota. Me showing up to their PKs and because of their part of my production and um, and supporting them for supporting me and my platform. A lot of them get their quotas that way, and I don't want to just like up and just leave and leave a lot of them high and dry. So that's the only reason why I'll continue to do my productions on Bigo. Um, I do hear where I'm going. They do have the same type of setup, so it may lead way for similar productions on that platform.
Okay, Well, that sounds great. So everybody, if you're on BIGO, please look up Zaddy Dragon, and we just look forward to everything else that you have coming out. I can't wait for this documentary. I really can't. I can't wait to see that. I think that's going to be very good. And like I told you in the last interview, you are inspiration to people because they can see you as someone who has gone through all of these trials and tribulations and look at you now. You didn't let it, stop you. So that devil no.
Hmm.
So thank you again so much for sharing your
Now,
story with us again. So anything else you want to share with us?
well, I did want to tell a story about me. Actually, I'd like to tell the story about the day God delivered me from the spiritual warfare that I was going through, what the doctors diagnosed to be mental health. The day I was delivered from that. Um, this was the day I call this the story. The day the devil followed me to church.
Okay.
Um, this um, this voice that used to be like the dominant voice over all the other voices that I would hear was a female voice. It was a female entity. I don't know if people who believe in spirits or demons, if they believe that spirits and demons have genders. Um, but this particular demon, which was the most aggressive one, um, had uh, I guess you would say, a feminine spirit, a feminine, or it was a female. Um, and it was one Sunday. Um, like I told you, some Sundays I would get physically ill to the point where I felt like I had to use the bathroom, and I would be stuck in the house. Couldn't
Wow.
go until church was over. This particular Sunday, I was determined that I was going to church. Um, my aunt, her husband passed. Um, for some reason I had these, like, I forgot why I had, because I don't think he was there yet. But for some reason I had some of my aunt's stuff at my house, and in this box was a box of adult Pampers. Um, so I was so determined that, okay, I'm going to church today. So I would get up and I would get ready to walk out the door. I would have to use the bathroom. Felt like I had to use the bathroom again, and I would go sit back on the toilet. And so this particular Sunday, I was like, I'm going to church. I don't care if I had to use the bathroom on myself. I went in the box of stuff that my aunt had left in my house. There was some adult diapers. I put this adult diaper on, got dressed, and I was on my way to church. Um, I as I walked out the house, there was a car. And mind you, while I'm battling going out the house and going back to the toilet, this female, it was a female voice in my head. Um, she kept telling me, "I told you, you're not going nowhere today. As a matter of fact, you keep playing with me. Um, even when church over, you won't go nowhere. You won't go nowhere all week if you think you can go."
Mm. Wow.
And basically, and I was like, "I'm going to church. I'm going to church." And then I had and that was one way I had learned to cope with the voices. Also, is I taught myself to not speak out to them verbally.
Okay.
I would only communicate with them in my head. If I had something to say to the demons, I would say it in my head. I wouldn't speak it out verbally. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't remember now why that was much better to me than speaking out to them verbally.
Mhm.
I guess it was so my neighbors wouldn't hear me talking to myself or whatever. But um, in my head, I was battling, arguing with her. Um, she told me, okay, once I got started going down the stairs, um, oh, you're not going, you're not going. Like, I think she told me once I step outside, uh, I was gonna get shot or something. She was saying somebody was out there to stop me. Um, when I went out the door, there was a car parked in front of my house. I walked in front of his car. I looked this man dead in his face. Walked to my car. Um, I got in the car, got ready to start the car, and I had to use the bathroom. Um, And I sat there for a minute, and I was like, I'm gonna just wait till my stomach settled because it was like hurting that bad. So then it got to the point where I had to run back in the house.
Mm.
Um, I ran past him, and the whole time in my head, she's like, "See, I told you you weren't going nowhere." Cause like
Mm.
she was like taunting me, like I had got down the stairs, I walked past him. She was like, "Oh, you still ain't going nowhere." She said, "What?" And basically, and in my head, she was like, "Okay, see, watch this." And then I had to go back in. I went back in, but I was
Mm.
determined. Once I sat on the toilet and wasn't nothing coming out, I was like, "Well, if ain't nothing coming out, it's just gonna have to feel like something. I gotta use it. I ain't gonna be scared. I got this pamp on. Ain't nothing gonna come out no way. What's the purpose of me not going to church? I can go sit on the pew and feel like I got to use the bathroom instead of sitting on this toilet. Got to use the bathroom. I was determined to get to church. So as I was coming back down the stairs, uh, she said to me, "Oh yeah, he was scared the first time when you went past, but I talked to him. He got you this time. You're not
Mm.
going nowhere." When I came out the door, he was getting out his car, walking to the front of his car like he was going to let his hood up. Um, Me being combative like I was, like I ain't scared of nobody. If he touched me, if he touched me, he's just gonna be the wrong person to touch. Is what I'm saying to her in my head, and I walked right past him. And when I walked past, see, I told you. Got in my car. Um, on my way to church, I stopped to get me a Sprite because my stomach was still hurting. Got me a Sprite, got me some gas. When I got to church, this man that was sitting in front of my house was sitting inside my church
Mm.
in the spot that I usually sit in on Sunday. Because at my church, the choir, we sit in the congregation until uh, it's time for the choir to sing. We go up in the choir stand, we sing, and then we come back and sit in the congregation. We don't stay in the choir stand once the pastor starts preaching. So the spot I used to sit in every Sunday, this man was sitting in that same spot.
Mm.
Uh, and it's the same man that was parked out front of my house. And I was like, I know this ain't the same man. So I went and sat behind him because I want to sit closer to see, okay, am I going crazy or like am I starting to see stuff now? I know I'm hearing stuff. Am I starting to
Mm.
see stuff? So I went and sat right behind him. This man bothered two girls that were sitting in front of him. He bent over and asked them something to the point where they got up and moved. He turned and asked me something, and when I told him, I said, "I'm trying to." The preacher was preaching. I said, I'm trying to hear the word because I don't want to miss the word that God has for me. You might want to pay attention also, so you don't miss the word that God has you here for to hear." So he got up, went to the other side of the church, um, and was disturbed. It was like he was trying to disturb the service to the point where the pastor stopped the sermon and was like, asked the deacons to escort him out and told him, um, the spirit, the spirit told me, you don't belong here. This is not the place for you, and that you need to
Mm.
leave here now. And the deacons escorted him out. And he explained. He said, I ain't never had to. He said, I ain't never had to kick nobody out of church because church is for everybody. But the spirit told me he had to go. This was not the place for him.
Ooh.
Um,
Demon. Mm.
so after that, we was getting ready to get out of service. Um, and I forgot why I was trying to get to church so bad. I didn't want to miss that Sunday. But at the end of the service, I felt disappointed. It's like I didn't get what I had came to church for, and I so wanted to be at church that Sunday. And I'm like, um, I didn't get what I came here for today. And then as we get ready to let out of church, um, he called me to the front. And mind you, me and him had several conversations about what I was going through. Um, and he told me, he said, without telling uh, your business or whatever, but he said, God told me to tell you, if you want to be delivered from what you're going through, all you have to do is reassure him you believe he can he can take that away. He can heal you from it. And he said, all you got to do, he say, for I pray for you. If you don't believe it wholeheartedly, uh, we're not gonna do that this Sunday, but God's gonna deliver you from this. And I said, I believe it. Um, he prayed for me. He had the whole congregation come around me, and everybody uh, held a hand towards me while he prayed for me, and he touched my ears with this oil
Wow.
immediately. Cause like the whole time all this was going on, I could still hear this demonic voice in my head saying, "This is not gonna work. You don't really believe." It's like these are some of the things that I would be hearing in my head the whole time. They basically would be saying, trying to like deter me from what I believed in, like believing in myself, believing in God. These That's what these voices were there to do. And the whole time he praying for me, I can hear her in my head saying, "It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work." Um, but I remember um, not hearing anything at all, not even the preacher, just like um, a high pitch like whistle, like I remember hearing that. Um, and when he touched my ears, I heard his voice again. I heard the pastor's voice again, and I didn't hear her in my head. It was gone, and he was like, "Do you believe you've been here? Do you believe you?" I was like, "I believe it. I believe it because it's gone." I kept telling him, "I'm like, it's gone. It's not there anymore. It's not there. It's not there." I remember I started crying. The whole church shouted. We was in church an extra whole hour. That's how long we shouted. Um,
Mm.
and because it was gone. I just kept saying, "It's gone. It's gone." Um, I thought, and the pastor was like, "You just got to." He said, you got to believe that it's gonna be gone and it's gonna stay gone. If at any point you feel like or sense that it's coming back, he gave me the bottle of oil that I have it sitting right here too. I touch my phone with it now every day when I get on BIGO. But I hadn't opened it. But he told me if you ever feel sense that you're going down that road again, or you hear you hear this again, um, touch your ears with this oil and believe that it's gonna go away and it'll go away. I haven't had to put that oil on my ears. I just recently opened that oil about a month ago when I was getting banned every day. Well, that was like 2 3 months ago. And I started putting it on the back of my phone before I get on BIGO because I'm a firm believer that spiritual entities can transfer through these phones, and you're seeing people every day on BIGO. I feel like demons can attach themselves to individuals to try and harm you or stop you from doing what you're doing. Um,
They
I've
can't.
heard those voices, that one voice, one time um, since he touched my ears, and it was on BIGO. I was flipping out of a live where an individual was talking um, to tell the individual that was in the live, whose live it was, to drop that person. They was my friend. I was like, drop her now, bring me up. He wouldn't drop her, but when I switched and I was texting, her voice turned to the voice that I was used to hearing. The
Mm.
dominant spirit that always would talk shit to me. Her
Mm.
voice turns down. When I came back to that live, it switched back to her voice.
Mm. Wow.
And that's why this individual on the app, um, she goes by the name of Tammy PA. My history with her is basically I met her through a friend of mine on Bigo named Lil Poppy. And Lil Poppy was what I call my Bigo bestie. Um, I met him when I first came on the app. He was always cool to me. When we first got on the app, 1 month he didn't get his check. I was pretty much trying to come up with different ways that he could still like host and like without having to trade because he didn't really have content. And so I was trying to figure out a way that he would still be able to like reach his quota without um, without having content and without having to invest any money because he didn't have any money to invest because he didn't get his check. Um, so I spent a lot of time around him and I met her. Through meeting her, she was intrigued by the fact that when I came on the app, um, I the type of quotas I was hitting from day one. She was intrigued by the story that I told about when I won 2 million diamonds on the app when I first came on the app, and that's how I pretty much funded my host audition and my first month on the app was through me winning those diamonds. Um, so she tended to like she had started because she had never come to my live before. So she would start coming to my live, and once she realized, okay, that I was a lip syncer and that I did characters, because when I first came on, I would do characters like Little Richard, Michael Jackson. I would do different characters, um, and she would tell me, she was like, "You're very talented," and like if she'll come in my live and I'd be educating people, she didn't like for me to educate others about the app. One time she interrupted my live and cussed the people out and told them because they're not gifting me. I'm not giving them any more information until they start gifting me. Which at the time I thought she was helping me, but and I was kind of like taken aback that she told the people, just like she was like just overbearing. She everywhere she would come where I was, she was overbearing. I kind of like let her get away with this because she was my elder. She's older than me, um, and I was not trying to like disrespect her. Um, she was sticking her nose in a lot of my business that kind of like was rubbing me the wrong way. I just felt uncomfortable with it. Like she was going up down my contribution list to tell me who owed me and uh, who I should who I should be dropping on and who I should stop dropping on because this people she's checked the contributions list and these people ain't coming back to me. Um,
Mm.
she was rather intrusive for you to sit and like go look at my contribution list, see who on it, and go look on their contribution list to see what they dropped me. For you to know all this information and I don't even know it, to me that was rather intrusive. Um, some of the things that she would do, um, I wouldn't say anything to her about it. I would tell Papa, I'm like, your girl rubbing me the wrong way. You to let her know I'm not the one. I will go off on her. I'm trying to respect her. I'm trying to respect her. So there was a situation. There was a young man I met through her, Jermaine Sellers. I met Jermaine through her. Me and Jermaine hit it off pretty cool. Jermaine had a new family. This is before I even had a family. Jermaine had a new family. Hello? Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody tried to
Oh,
call my phone.
oh, okay.
Um, so Jermaine had a new family. I even like recommended uh, someone to his family. The reason why I didn't join his family because it was an entertainment family, but the reason I didn't join his family because I had already joined another family. Um, but I had introduced a couple of the guy that she was in his room that morning when I heard her voice change.
Mhm.
Um, I had introduced him to Jermaine. Me and Jermaine had became cool. A lot of the people in Jermaine's family, um, uh, they had started alliances with me. A lot of them would come to my live. This is back when I would play. Um, oh my God, I'm getting message after message after message after message after message after message after message. Hold on. Okay, it stopped. Um, a lot of them would come and play what I call the cashier elimination game. Um, so me and Jermaine had like developed like a bond. He was cool to me. I really like appreciated him for his content and his talent. Um, so one Sunday, um, well, let me back up. Okay, so she introduced me to Jermaine. Okay, so I had this lip sync battle. So Grandma Murder from BIGO was also one of my judges. I had issues with one of the other judges that was on my show, so I invited Jermaine to become one of my judges. So the episode that Jermaine came to judge, out the blue, she finally came to one of my contests. This whole time we had been in association with each other, sitting on the panel with Poppy and all that. I would invite them every week to my event, and they never show up. But this one time that Jermaine, Grandma Murder, it was a couple of other of us, couple more of us on this panel, and we were judging the lip sync battle. She decided to show up. Um, she didn't like the decision of one. This is back when the lip sync battle we would eliminate. We were eliminating contestants. You battle with one person and you choose one or the other goes. Um, we eliminated a contestant um, that she didn't like. She started in the comments trying to get an uproar out of the people in the comments. Where the hell did you get these judges? Did you get them off the street? Who out the band? All of that. So she kind of like disrupted the comments at my event, which I didn't like at all. I didn't say anything to her about it. Actually, that's one of the things I had went to Poppy and said, your girl came to my event and was like in the comments, kind of like foul with her comments. You to let her know I'm not with that. Um, she also at the same event, I think that's when she probably was introduced or figured out who Grandma Murder was, or realized that Grandma Murder was an individual that she saw something in. Um, and hindsight 2020, looking back on it now, just knowing everything that's transpired, to me, I feel like she saw that Grandma Murder had a following because she was back then. She really was had good things to say about the Milans. Tammy did. She was pretty much all in the Milan's ass, if you ask me, kissing ass. She was always the Milan's this, the Milan's that, the Milan's this. Um, And so she saw it was a room full of Milans. Grandma Myrtle was a Milan. She was taken up for a Milan that had got eliminated. Um, and next thing I know, um, she had they had created this old lady show. I didn't even know they had the show the first time they had it. It was this they had the show. Grandma Murder also had a PK. Um, I was asleep when they had this new show. I didn't even know nothing about it. Grandma Murder didn't even come to me and tell me that she was on this new show because that show didn't have nothing to do with her being on the lip sync battle. They were two different entities. At this point, me and Grandma Murders are that was the length of our relationship. She come do the show on Tuesday, and that was it. I would probably go and see her, like, and drop on her and stuff. But I never sat and watched her content or anything like that. Basically, it was she come on Tuesday, and then so we weren't having conversations like I'm going to do this show. Um, with Tammy PA or whatever. So obviously she did the show with Tammy PA and Jermaine Sellers. Um, Afterwards, when I woke up, she had a PK. I had did her flyer and I had did her commercial. This was right around the time we had started to like establish a bond, like outside of just the show. She had contacted me to I think previous to that, she had contacted me to get her unbanned. I had points. I got her unbanned and I didn't charge her. And then she asked me to do the flyer, and I did the flyer and the commercial for her. I didn't charge her. So pretty much I was doing things for her just for being on my production. Um, and plus, at this point, we had never, and to this day, we never established a fee for her judging. It was just that basically by her being on my production, um, I was like doing things like getting her unbanned for without charging her. She needed a flyer and a commercial for her PK, stuff like that. So we had started to develop um, this friendship. So before her PK, we did like a tailgate where we was all on the panel. We was getting amped for her PK and everything. Um, she went into her PK, and the girl wasn't showing up. Come to find out, the girl was in Jermaine's family. Now, mind you, Jermaine, her, and Grandma Murdy was just on a panel doing a show. Um, why wouldn't Jermaine? Well, before I say that, well, long story short, Jermaine had told the family member not to show up to the PK
Oh.
because, long story short, the girl had just joined the family and she had been doing all these PKs because of the agency and the family that she was in previous, and it had caused her to have all these PKs, and she pretty much was basically overextending the family that the new family that she had just joined. You joined this family, you knew, and you doing all these PKs. We already done pretty much gifted you as much as we're gonna gift you this month. Don't do this PK. Um,
Mm.
but my thing was why um, not tell Grandma Murder that you're telling your family member not to do this PK against her. So we get to the PK. Grandma Murder's like, why is this girl not coming? Why is she not coming? So she said, can somebody go see if she live? I went to see if the girl was live. She wasn't. And then this is at the point when I realized the girl was in Jermaine's family. So I looked and saw Jermaine was live. I'm like, well, I wonder if he knows his family member got a PK against Grandma Murder. We got the Milans lined up. We got Grandma Murder, other support lined up. We ready to win this PK for her. So I went to Jermaine's live. He was lining with somebody, and I was typing in the comments. You got a family member um, that's late for a PK with Grandma Murder. Do you know where she is? You got a family member by the name. And I typed it a couple of times. Jermaine ignored it. Then I scrolled it across the screen. And then another family member came in and said, "Don't worry, she's there." Um, that's when Jermaine got mad, jumped up. I think he snatched his wig off and threw it or something. He went ballistic. Why would you ruin my life like that? And I'm like, I didn't come to disrupt your life. I thought that was protocol. Like you, the founder, and your family member got a PK. I was wondering if you knew they was there. But since she said that, I ain't even here to argue with you. I'm going back to PK because I got to drop over on my murder. That's the only person I'm concerned about is Grandma Murder getting an opponent for this PK because that's who I was team Grandma Murder that day. So when I get back to the PK, Tammy PA was there. Grandma Murder was like on two boxes. Jermaine had pulled up on the other girl's side and was saying, "I told you not to do the PK." And I'm in the comments saying, "Where is her people at? Why is y'all letting her get whooped like this? Grandma Murder on her way to three boxes. She's still on zero." That's how I was
Wow.
carrying on the comments. And so then Tammy PA added me and said, "Why the fuck you worried about where her people at?" So I added her back and said, "Why the fuck you worried about? Why the fuck I'm worried about where her people at?" So
Mm.
PK was over or whatever. That night I was holding an elimination game. Jermaine's family pulled up to my elimination game. Jermaine also pulled up as well. Me and Jermaine had a conversation about why he told the girl not to come. So, and I told him, I said, I understand where you coming from with that. Okay, I probably would have did the same thing. However, you can't be mad at me for asking where her people at. I said, when I said where her people at, I'm pretty sure uh, I know every family I've been in, I've never depended on my family to win no PK for me. I've always had my own support. So me saying where her people that was not me saying where's her family at. My thing is, okay, girl, why didn't you plan this PK? Where's your people? So it was nothing to slight you, Jermaine. Um, I was just making a statement. Where's her people? Um, so me and Jermaine agreed to disagree. And we was getting ready to go forward with this elimination game. Um, Tammy PA pulls up. She comes on the panel and basically she wants to rehash. You were so disrespectful at the fucking PK. No, you was disrespectful to me, and so that's why I gave you exactly what you gave me. I've been being quiet about this situation, about you being overbearing and doing the things that you were doing. She even there was a situation with me and Stasha that she put her nose in that actually caused me and Stasha to fall out. And she was just doing like certain things that she was putting her nose in she didn't need to be in. And so basically she tried to overtalk me on my live. I ended the whole live. Instead of kicking her, out of respect for her, uh, not trying to like make it go be a big situation. I just ended my live so I didn't have to kick her. Um, I I did go to sleep that night. I woke up still feeling the same way, some kind of way about okay, just like all this stuff adding up about how she's like interacting with me, and I didn't like it. I don't need a boss. I don't need a mama on BIGO. This is I'm a private contractor. This is my shit. I don't need you telling me how to do it. I don't need you coming telling me not to educate people. I don't need you come. I just don't need the energy that I'm getting from you. I don't like it, and I don't need it. Um, so I woke up the next morning, and this guy that I was talking to, he was getting ready to get off alive. And I went into his live and I was talking to him. He was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Well, it was a situation yesterday. It's kind of like it rubbed me the wrong way, and I feel like." And I was asking his advice, like, should I just like go to her and tell her like back off? How should I handle this? Because I don't want to disrespect her, um, but knowing how she is, okay, this is going to turn into something. So I was trying to get his advice on what I should do. Uh, Showing you how knows who she is. She probably was on the wall. She came in his room, and again, she tried to overtalk me and go back and forth and tell me I was disrespectful at the PK. And I was like, look, we had this conversation last night. I ended my live. I told you I'm not changing how I feel. I said what the fuck I said because you said what the fuck you said. And me and her was going back and forth. And to the point where I told her, look, I only got 3 more words for you. Bitch, mind your business. And I kicked her.
Wow.
Because I had admin in his room. Um, I went, did my live.
Mhm.
Once I finished my 2 hours, I'm scrolling through BIGO. He's live. And he's been live uh, for about 2 hours. The whole length that I was live with her and Jermaine on his live, with her telling Jermaine a whole bunch of shit about me, telling him a whole bunch of shit about me. That's when I came in and I uh, text him, could you please drop her and bring me up? I'm in your room. I'm in the comments. Why are you letting her? You're supposed to be my guy. You're supposed to be talking to me. Why is you even sitting there entertaining this bullshit? Why is you sitting there letting her tell you anything about me? So I'm texting him,
Mhm.
and as I'm texting him, that voice, the same voice that told me I wasn't going to church, that same voice that used to keep me in the house, that same voice that was pretty much the dominant demonic spirit that was like plaguing me.
Mhm.
I heard that voice.
Mhm.
When I heard it, I switched back over, and then it switched back to her voice. That right there was enough for me to block her, block him, block Jermaine, and block anybody else that had anything that was tied to her. If you was in Jermaine's family, and because Jermaine was tied to her, I was blocking you. I just went on a blocking spree because God told me anybody tied to that lady, you don't need to be around it.
Wow.
She since then, since me saying, "Bitch, mind your business," um, she even went to the point that day she was mad that I said, "Bitch, mind your business." And I even said, "Well, girl, we sit on the panel all day long, and you call motherfuckers this, bitch, that. We have that type of dialect with each other. Me saying, 'Bitch, mind your business,' should not have offended you today. You're upset because I said I don't have nothing else to do with you, and I kicked you. That's what you're upset about." Um, she lied to Jermaine and had told Jermaine a whole bunch of stuff about me, which got Jermaine on this hate train with her. Jermaine has since told me since he has even fell out with her, a lot of the stuff that she was doing to like troll me. She started this hate train. She went to a lot of my alliances and tried to scare them into like not supporting me. Um, she's just done a whole lot. Um, and even to this day, 3 weeks ago, she was doing an interview with my name in her mouth. I haven't talked to this lady since September. I even have a gentleman that hit me up on Facebook that told me um, he could tell me who was getting me banned because he was in her live and she was instructing people to come to my live and ban me, report me while reporting me to record it. If they can get a screen recording of them reporting me and if I was to happen to get banned while they were reporting, she would give them a dragon.
Oh.
She's I had her blocked for a long time. I um I unblocked her because I figured, okay, she's been blocked this long. She's not gonna try to come in my room. The same day I unblocked her, she came in my room and typed in my comments, "Don't trust him. He owes me. He's a POS." I asked when she typed it, okay, so what do you mean? What's a POS? Are you trying to say I'm positive? I said, you know that's a health read, right? So
Mhm.
when she left, she went live and recanted what she was saying that POS stood for piece of shit. But
Mhm. Have mercy.
the thing is, okay, why were you got unblocked and that same day you came in my live and you trolled me? Recently, about maybe like 3 months ago. It may be four now. I don't know how far back. Um, Once again, took her off my because I'll go and I'll unblock. I'll just click unblock, 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 unblock to make room on my list to block. Like if I have like a constant troll that's starting to come and get on my nerve, and I get to the point where I can't block people anymore. I'll go unblock, unblock, unblock. I unblocked her again. This time she came and trolled. She changed the picture on the profile, and I can show you this video right here. I have the video. If you like, I can go over here to my computer and show you. Um, she came in my room. Her profile picture was changed to a picture I took around Easter where I looked like Black Jesus Christ. I did What Love, and I put on a long black wig with light green contacts and drew a beard and mustache and did What Love looking like Jesus Christ. She has this picture of me as her profile picture. The name on her profile was POS, POS scammer. Um, and she was in my comments saying, "Bring me my dragon. You owe me. You're a piece of shit. Don't trust him." Um, and When I clicked on the profile, I was shocked. I was like, she doesn't even know how to effectively troll. I know her BIGO ID by heart, and this was her BIGO ID.
That's a shame. Oh my God.
Um, but she's still doing interviews, dragging Jermaine Sellers, and every time she does an interview, dragging Jermaine Sellers, she has to bring me up, and that's because she's upset that once she fell out with Jermaine Sellers, he came to me and told me all the negative bullshit that she was doing. I got text messages of her uh, to, lying to Jermaine, telling Jermaine, "Oh girl, he in your live talking about you," when I
Mm,
would clearly be talking about her.
mm. That's
She would sit in her
crazy.
live. She would sit in her live and tell her people, "Watch this." She sent people over there to my live, all of them wearing her fan badge because at one point, her just the speak of her name would trigger me to go off and start talking shit because I knew that she was trolling me. I knew that the negative shit that she was doing. She was starting to say a lot of people were upset with me and stopped fucking with me on the app because of some of the things that she said, based off solely off of what she said. She lied to Stasha and told Stasha I showed her a picture of her as a boy. I never knew Stasha as a boy, so I could have never showed a picture of Stasha as a boy. What I did show her is we had a conversation in a private live. She called me, um, Lil Poppy, Mr. Brown, to a private live, and she was trying to convince Mr. Brown not to do business with Mother Dragon. And she brought me and Poppy in there to tell him how much Mother Dragon had dropped on us since we had been dropping on her. And at the time, Mother Dragon hadn't come back and dropped on us, but we hadn't had a conversation with Mother Dragon either to tell her we needed her to come back or we needed her help. And that's how Mother Dragon operates. When you need Mother Dragon to pull up, you let her know you need her to pull up. Um, and so at this point, Mother Dragon hadn't came and dropped on either of us, and we had dropped a substantial amount, maybe like at least two dragons worth of beans. So basically, she was trying to use us to convince Mr. Brown not to do business with Mother Dragon because she was saying Mother Dragon owed her. Um, in this meeting, she scolded me and called me all kinds of dumb motherfuckers for spending time with Boom when he came to Chicago. I could have been online trying to get my quota. That's why I'm having trouble reaching my quota now because you was out all night hanging with Boom. I'm like, this is how intrusive she was in my business to know, okay, I wasn't even online. Um, she even told me, she was like, "You were stupid to drop all those beans you dropped on Stasha, and now she doesn't even want to help you with two dragons to get to your quote." She really like talked shit about these individuals to me, and I told her in this private live, I said, "You want to know why I pay homage to those two individuals? Boom is who taught me all I know on this app. That's who I went to and took a class to learn what I needed to learn on this app to flourish the way that I'm flourishing. Stasha Sanchez Sasha Sanchez was known on the national pageant scene way before I even started doing pageants. My very first pageant, and I went and got a pageant book. It was a pageant book where Stasha was on the cover with her king. She was on the back of this magazine. It's a pageant magazine. When you do a pageant, you have the king and queen on the front. On the inside of the book are the contestants. I showed. I said,
Okay.
"You see this? This is my very first pageant. This is me right here as a contestant, listed under the
Okay.
contestants. If you close this book, this is Stasha on the front and the back. This is how established this woman was at the start of my pageant career. She's an icon. She's a legend. She's a pillar in our community in the world that I live in, pageants. This big old thing is new to me, but in the world that I live in pageants, she's a celebrity. So and she's the reason why I came to this app because I heard her talking about it, and that's why I came to this app because I heard her talking about it and saying that she was a host and she was making money. I followed her here,
Okay.
so this is why I was paying homage to her. Yes, I'm upset that she can't. I asked her for two dragons, and basically she had a problem dropping me two dragons after I've dropped her maybe 10. Yes, I have a problem with that. I feel some kind of way, and going forward, I'm going to move differently when dropping my beans. But you can't get on me and tell me I was stupid and dumb for dropping my beans on this lady when basically this is the reason why I was paying homage to her. It was because of her I knew about Live Nation and I knew to go search Boom out and get taught what I got taught. It was because of her I'm flourishing on the app. So initially, she's the one that's the first person I heard say the word BIGO. So you
Mm,
can't
okay.
tell me I'm wrong for gifting her all of these beans. Yes, I'm mad. She ain't dropped. I asked her to drop me two dragons, and she had a problem with dropping me two dragons. And yes, me and her had a falling out about that. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna make me feel bad for going and dropping on her. I just know how to move differently now. I know that she's not gonna be supportive of me as I am of her. I'm glad to know that I'm in the fan zone and not the friend zone that I thought I was in. But you're not gonna make
Mhm.
me feel bad about what I dropped on her. And basically, she in the same breath, well, I've dropped on you. I'm on your contribution list. You're not even on my list, and you dropped because you've dropped organically. You come to me and you told me that you're not going to drop on me unless I'm in makeup and I'm doing a character and stuff like that. You hired me to come to your panel as Little Richard and do a mukbang, and you dropped the dragon. And pretty much, if you look at the numbers, that's what it's saying. If you say I owe you what I owe you, you're only a dragon up on me. And that dragon you dropped on me at your mukbang when
Wow.
I showed up as Little Richard, where when I had to glue my beard down and paint over it to even give you that character.
So when
See,
you went
back
to
then
her
I was
live,
still
she
attached to my
wanted
facial hair.
to. So when you went to her live, you had to do a certain thing that she wanted you
Well, she hired me to come as Little Richard to this
to.
mukbang that she had, and she was having an event, and she wanted me to show up as Little Richard. She gave me the idea to come up and pull up. Everybody else have crabs and seafood. She wanted me to come up and pull up with a fish fillet bag and make it funny. I didn't go to McDonald's to get fish fillet. I thought it would be funny to show up with tuna fish, so I showed up with a plate of tuna fish to the mukbang and did a Little Richard number, whatever. It was right before my lip sync battle, a half hour before, so I was there 30 minutes and I left and went to my event. I didn't even do my lip sync battle hosting it as no character. So I'm doing you a favor, and you while I was there, you dropped me a dragon. So you saying I owe you a dragon for showing up to your panel and coming as a celebrity as you requested? That was a booking. I took that as an organic gift. I didn't take that as you dropping on me, expecting me to drop that back on you. And
Mm.
that's another reason why I was like, she's becoming overbearing because she's steady like pressuring me to come get on her list, come get on her list, come get on her list. Girl, I have alliances that I've already established that I'm trading with, and basically it coming to try to get on your list, which was at the time at least a dragon to get on, I think, or whatever it was. I forgot what it was to get on her list, but I wasn't going to overextend myself and like drop my alliances that I had. Yes, I had a little bit more money to spend. Now that I had set in my head, I wasn't going to drop as much as I was dropping on Stasha, but that you're not going to dictate to me that I need to bring that to you. And
Mm.
and pretty much that's what the gist of it was in this private panel that she had with us. And after this private panel, I text Poppy and say, I don't like the way your girl is. She rubbed me the wrong way, dude. I'm telling you, I'm gonna snap on her. And he was saying, I don't want to be in the middle of it. If you feel that way, you tell her.
Mm.
And she basically went once I got fed up and said, "Bitch, mind your business." She went on creating this hate train, and she lied to a lot of people about me, and then a lot of people jumped on her bandwagon, and some people even told shit they from 15 years ago. One this dude named Ray, he used to be the a Jamu family. Um, him and when I was in Miami on the ballroom scene, me and my family, we sold the party favors at the bar, and that's the only way you knew I had any type of association with coke because we used to sell coke and pills at the bars. And if one of us got chopped, we left with the party favors, and so did all the drug heads coming to our after party. So the only way that you would knew I was even had any type of association with the drug cocaine is if you were one of my customers or it was one of your family members or anything. But he came on here and told a story about me doing coke 15 years ago, and you never sat across the table from me to do coke. So with her hearing that story, every time she's running my name in her mouth, she's telling everybody I'm a drug addict. I'm high. I get and basically I never even shared my testimony with her. So for a long time, she was running her mouth, calling me a cokehead until I gave my testimony on your show. Then the trolls started to call me a Tina head and all of this.
Ooh,
So I
child.
know for a fact a lot of the trolling is done by her because a lot of it was done when her and Jermaine were in association with each other. And Jermaine has admitted the things that they used to do to me.
Mm.
She would send people to come in my room and with her fan badge, knowing it was going to incite me. And then basically, He's always fussing. He's always, but you're sending people to invoke me. And she's dragged my name, and she's dragged my name. And I recently found a YouTube video that was three weeks ago, and she's still speaking my name. So that's why I took this moment to like at least give my account of okay why she's upset with me. I haven't like had any association with her since September. I just said, bitch, mind your business. But yes, I've spoke on her and I've given my account of things time and time again in my soul life to the point where people were tired of hearing me talking about it and hearing me bitch and complain about her doing the things that she's doing.
Wow. So you lost on your fan base for a little bit behind that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, she even told Grandma Murder, if you're gonna be on his show, uh, you're not. It's a conflict of interest. You can't work on the old ladies of BIGO. Why can't she work on the old ladies of BIGO when it's on Sunday? My show is on Wednesday. She's emceeing on my show. She's doing something totally different on your show. Why can't she work both of them? She dragged Grandma Murder in it to the point where I blocked Grandma Murder. Grandma
mm,
Murder came and asked me, "Why the hell you blocked me?" I blocked you because I blocked everyone that was in association with her. In association with her, I blocked everyone
wow.
and everything, even my best friend Lil Poppy. I even blocked him
Mm,
on BIGO because once I heard that voice again, the first time hearing it after I had been delivered from hearing that voice,
mhm,
and it came through her, that told me right there, okay, this person right here has been sent to attack you. You are here to flourish financially, and she's trying to stop it.
mm,
Now,
wow,
she probably know not what she does, but in my heart, I do believe, in my spiritual beliefs, um, she does have that demon inside of her that was sent to attack me.
mm,
It's above me and her. It's above BIGO. The interaction between she and I would be spiritual warfare, and that's the way I'm looking at it. Because she's still constantly got my name in her mouth and trying to tear me down and trying to stop what I'm doing to the point where you're getting my account banned. I do firmly believe the month I got banned 8 times, she had something to do with it,
wow, that's sad. That's
and
sad that
it's
grown people act
now
like
that I'm
that.
making the move that I'm making, um, if she comes there and this continues, that will actually even solidify and confirm that okay, this is spiritual warfare, and she has this demon on her that she don't even know it's on her. And because it's to me, it's relentless that she's still even talking about me or Jermaine.
Mm,
You're doing interview after interview after interview after interview after interview, giving your account of things with no receipts.
mm,
And when you ask her why she doesn't like me, she says I scammed her and stole her dragon. But now she's not the negative things that she's saying about me. How are you gonna believe him? He's a liar. He said he was intersex. Me saying that I was intersex on BIGO was a storyline. It was me trying to figure out a way how to gain pure support like others had pure support on the app. How to get people to gift me without me having to pay it back, because my whole existence on BIGO up until recently was my me trading and trading successfully and effectively. Even though there are like about 40 people that still owe me dragons, it was effective enough for me to still hit my high quotas. Until recently when they said, okay, you can't get your whole quota off of trading. You have to have a certain percentage of individuals that are non-hosts. So back at that time, to be honest with you, she's the one that started this he's transgender rumor. It stemmed from her.
mm.
She
She was in a youth transgender.
she tried to say I was what how it happened is she said that I was transphobic because of the
Mm,
situation that happened between me and Stasha. I got into it with Stasha. I got into it with Desi on the app. So basically, she was trying to paint this picture of me as being transphobic, and I was like, "How can I be transphobic when I've dated transgender?" And then that's when the idea for the storyline came. How can I be trans? How can I be transphobic when I'm transgender myself? And that's how that storyline started. I ran with that storyline until I started to get trolled about it, and then I came clean with my support. And basically, what it did was I gained a following behind it, And once I gained the following behind it, when the people came to my live to see what content I had, I was doing what I do on BIGO, providing content. People liked what they liked what they saw. They stayed and they started to gift and they started to support solely based on the content that I was providing, and that's lip syncing, a lip syncing platform, as well as now doing female impersonation. They liked what they saw when they got there, and they stayed. I came clean with my supporters. Okay, no, I'm not transgender. Yes, it was. It was a storyline. Yes, it was. It done intentional to get people to start to follow me. So when they followed me and they came over and saw what I really do, I knew that they would like it. Some people don't just end up coming in your life. It has to be some type of scandal for them to even come in your life. So once they come, I need to be doing what I do to win them over. And that's what I did. And I came clean about that. So 3 weeks ago, you still talking about he lied about him being intersex. He lied about he's photoshopped pictures with him and Stasha. I never showed her a picture of me and Stasha photoshopped together. I
Wow.
showed her a picture of Stasha Sanchez and R. Darius Black on the cover of a magazine. And if I look hard enough, I can find that magazine in here to show what I showed. Hold on a second.
Welcome to the live, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. Cord, are you still here? Are you still with us, Cord? Who else do we have on the live? There's 2 people in there so far. Some have come and gone. I hope y'all are enjoying the interview. Thank you for coming. Cord, are you still here? But welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for coming. Zaddy will be right back. He's looking for something.
Oh, here it is, right here.
Okay.
Okay. And this is what I was explaining to her. Do you see this year right here?
1999.
This is my very first pageant. That's a picture of Stasha Sanchez. Does that look like me on that picture? No.
Yeah.
That's our Darius Black. Here's another picture of Stasha on the back.
She's gorgeous.
This is what I showed her. She's already established the national queen when me, as a newcomer, listed under contestants.
Okay.
So this is how far I've been following this lady. She was already the national queen in the first pageant that I ever competed in, the pageant that made me fall in love with pageantry. The night she gave up her title was the night I sat and saw other individuals doing this and doing it at a level I had never saw it being done before, and saw myself doing it as well, saying I can do that. So she's a part of my blueprint and the beginning of my career. So for me to become her friend on BIGO and to be associated with her on BIGO, that was a big thing for me. So basically, of course, if she says, "Come get me to my box," I will go get her to her box. Of course, if she says she did 2 shields to get to her box, I'll go drop 2 supercars. Of course, and I ended up basically getting caught up with dropping so much on her
Oh, excuse me.
that when I looked at that when I was reminded how much I had dropped on her, she should be one of and I was told by Tammy PA, she should be one of the people I'm asking to help me get to my quota. You only need 6 dragons. See if you can get 2 from her. So she's the reason why I even went and asked Stasha if she had 2 dragons. But for you, and then publicly, she said in my live, because like when me and Stasha fell out on my live, and I ended up kicking Stasha. Oh, you should call her right away. You should call her right away, and that's your friend, and apologize because you know She's a female, and you can't expect females to just be giving money to this is money. You can't be expecting females to just give money to men on here. This is what she was saying to me. But when she called me in that private live, it was a totally different story. And you can ask Lil Poppy as well as Mr. Brown how she scolded me about dropping the amount of money that I dropped on Stasha, and about even and she even scolded me about spending time with my first founder on the app, the person that taught me the app, even though I wasn't in his family anymore. When he came and visited Chicago, I would be it to me that would be shady as hell for him to come to my city, me not be doing nothing but being on BIGO, him to be here in my city and not at least go see him while he's in town, or hang out with him, or show him a little bit of the city while he's here. To just to appreciate and say thank you for teaching me what you taught me. And it's good. And it's good when you see people on BIGO all the time, and then you finally get a chance to meet them off of BIGO, especially if you have a good rapport with them.
But
We,
that
we
was
weren't
nice.
at odds because I wasn't in his family anymore. So why wouldn't I go hang out with him?
So did y'all hang out?
Yeah.
That was good.
And I don't even go to balls anymore. I went to a ball with him and everything.
Okay.
We hung out at the
Yeah.
park. Um, I even went back to his Airbnb after the ball, played cards, and met some of his friends that were from where he's from. We hung out. We do what people do after the ball, the after set, where we play cards and stuff and drink. And that was my first time ever even logging up a BIGO since I had been on. So then when I come
Okay.
back, oh, that's why you need your quota now, because you don't win it. All of this, girl, why are you this intrusive?
Wow. It's like she was
So
turning you down.
her being that intrusive, and me just even being around her and hearing her the way she talk about everybody else just didn't rub me the right way. And all I had to do was hear her voice remind me of that same voice that used to be the demon that was plaguing me when I was trying to be recovered from a spiritual warfare and mental health issues. So the doctor,
Mm.
that sent me running a whole other way.
Ooh.
And then
That
and
was
I'm gonna tell you what she was saying when this. I can tell you exactly what she was saying. She was saying when I switched her, she was saying, and you want to call me a bitch, uh, and say, fuck me. No, fuck your mama. Fuck your grandmama. Fuck your dead
oh,
granddaddy with the fresh
oh
maggots in his eyes. My grandfather died 3 days after I became a host on the app. So his death was
my
still fresh.
gosh. Oh my God. Ooh.
So this is the type of mouth that she has.
Mm.
And I've seen her talk about other people like that and get into it with other people like that. And I saw the way that she was manipulating Jermaine, and pretty much you don't want to join his family, but you pretty much try to run his family. I saw all of this, and so basically it made me say I really didn't want to have nothing to do with her. And then when I finally got fed up and was like, "Bitch, mind your business," and I still didn't block her until I heard her say, "Fuck your dead granddaddy with the fresh magazine," and it sounded just like that demon. When I
Ooh,
I flipped back over to make sure she was still there talking. I was like, I'll be damned.
mm-mm. That would
And
have
I
made
went
me
and I
run the
blocked
other way.
her. I blocked Jermaine. I blocked Envy. I blocked Lil Poppy. I blocked Top Tier. All the people that was uh all the people that was associated with her. She even had Jermaine tell people that were a part of my lip sync battle that were contestants that they could not compete in my lip sync battle. If they competed in my lip sync battle, that their badge would be dropped. This is how much of a hate train that she tried to start, or that she started. And at one point it was a whole panel where she was hell she would have lied to Boom. I still don't know what she would have told Boom. Um, she lied to Stasha and told Stasha the bullshit about I photoshopped a picture of us together. I still and when I called Stasha and talked to her, and I've tried to talk to Stasha twice. Well, I talked to her after I kicked her. She said, "Well, we should just like go our separate ways. You disturbed my peace. I'm not gonna have anybody disturb my peace. I'd rather just not have anything to do with each other." I've since then contacted her again to have a conversation, and she still feels the same way. But I think she still feels the same way because of the things that uh, Tammy PA said to her. I assure her that I did not show a picture of her in her mail form. I don't have one. I didn't Photoshop anything. And basically, um, she was still feeling the same way because she said, "Well, you did say I owed you." I never said you owed me. I said I felt some kind of way that I dropped as much as I dropped on you, and when I asked if you could possibly drop me 2 dragons, you had such a problem with it. I didn't have a problem dropping what I dropped on you, and I just felt like I could depend on you for the same support that some type of you would give the same type of support that I gave to you. And at this point, I still don't feel any different. For me to drop is to support you as much as I supported you. You should want to give me back some type of support if I needed it. And at this point, I needed it. And for you to tell me, child, that's $500. Uh, I didn't say, well, child, that's $2,000. The amount I dropped on you.
Mm. Wow.
Even though I didn't drop it on you saying, okay, I'm dropping this. I need you to drop this back. I need to. It wasn't a deal where we had an alliance or anything. And she did drop back on me sometime. I think she dropped like to the tune of like 30 something K, and I had dropped like over 100K on her. And basically, I was just asking like, okay, I need 6 dragons. Can I depend on you for 2? Being that she had conversations with me where she told me she doesn't convert her beans. She keeps all of her beans till we get paid. Whatever's dropped on her, she keeps all that plus her check and she cashes it out. She's explained that any other money, any other gifts that she drops, that's because she put cash on. I even tried to explain it to her because, like, even though she had been on the app longer than me, I had learned a lot more about the app and how the numbers and stuff work on here more than her. So I was trying to explain to her, hey, you got all those beans. All you got to do is you can send me 2 rockets. You ain't even got to convert it. Just send me 2 rockets. And that, but she's basically she couldn't grasp what I was trying to say, I guess. But to me, I just felt like she didn't want to drop me 2 dragons, so she didn't drop me 2 dragons. And she didn't give me an answer because I was still waiting on an answer from her. And had she told me no, I would not have like been mad or like or stopped dealing with her or blocked her or anything like that. Had she said no, I just would have knew how to deal with her going forward. When you call, say come get you to your box, open your mouth and say I ain't got it. Because there have been times that okay, I didn't have it. I had a few dollars on my cash app that was gonna be my food for the rest of the week where I would recharge just to send you something to get you to your box. And so it hurt my feelings that okay, I asked uh you to drop 2 dragons and you tell me child it's $500 when baby I've sacrificed to make sure you got to your box. And if you look at these numbers don't lie. I've dropped over 100K on you. That's over $2,000.
Wow.
So why for one she made me feel like the nerve of me to come and ask her. So at this point, yeah, I still feel some kind of way about that, but I never said anything negative like uh, called her a man or made it seem like I was transphobic or anything, any of the things that Tammy tried to say. I said,
Mm, that's crazy.
but hopefully I don't have this issue with where I'm going. Um, and basically, like I said, um, I move when God tells me to move, and all week long I was saying I wasn't going, I wasn't going, I wasn't going. Last night I heard what I needed to hear from God saying, "Okay, make that move."
All right.
And when Super said that he was making that move, I was like, "This is in divine order." Then I had another young lady that's been over there talking to me about it anyway, and just explaining how much more money you make over there. And just for me meeting her, she was a tink. I didn't even know she was a tink, and I met her, and she was explaining to me how it works and stuff. And so it's just like to me, everything is coming into play. Uh, and I feel comfortable with saying that yeah, I'm making that move. At first, I didn't want to go. Even when I got an agency at another app, I didn't want to go over there. I felt kind of iffy about it. And then when they came and told me the exclusivity clause, you can't host on this one, host on that one. You got to lose your host account and all that. I got scared and I didn't even activate my agency or add anybody to it. I think I maybe added one person to my agency. You got to have 20 for it to be activated.
Mm.
So I was even leery about that. I didn't
Mhm.
even go host over there. So for me to, this is a big decision for me to say, okay, I'm no longer hosting on Bigo, and I'm going to another app to host. I feel um, I feel comfortable leaving because I'm leaving with a group of people that are all with the same focus, going and supporting each other, and us all getting the bag. So I'll have some type of support system. It's not like I'm going over there having to build a whole support system from the bottom and the ground up. And then some of my supporters have already told me that they'll also be um, following me over there. So when I tell them where I'm going, so
Well, that's a blessing that you will still have a good support system with people that you already know, that you already have that bond, with that friendship and everything, that trust, So that's a blessing. So, like I said, I'm just looking forward to whatever you have in store, for us. And I'm a supporter. I tried these apps just for me. It's just not for me financially. I'm just gonna do, my other things. I'm gonna always be there, just to enjoy your talent and still, support you, financially and let me know about the other place.
yeah, I appreciate you being one of my main supporters. I appreciate you for the gifts that you give me. I more so appreciate you for the things that you do outside of Bigo, like giving me a platform to tell my story and tell my testimony. For actually making sure Vegas has some of the finest paparazzi jewelry, all that, even makeup this time and clothes, because Vegas didn't have many clothes. You were one of the supporters, along with being me, that without you two, there would be no polished Vegas. I wouldn't be as polished as I am if it were not for you and being me.
Well, that's sweet of you. That's sweet of you to say. Well, I just enjoy your talent. So just as a fan, I just want to do those things, just because I wanted to. So
And
thank
I
you
can't
for
wait
your
for the stuff
talent.
I got today. I can You see, I got on one of the chains you said.
Yes.
I got the jewelry on, the bracelet. Yes, God.
Well, I'm glad you like everything. I am, because I love entertainment. I love being entertained. I majored in theater, so hey,
Hmm.
I'm connected to you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm at home when I'm with you
Exactly.
guys. Yeah, so you're a blessing, to me, because when people go through something bad, or they just tired from a work day, and you can follow your favorite entertainers, that's a time to,
Hmm.
relax, something different, something that you can look forward to. So being an entertainer, you're blessing people in ways that you have no idea. And
I'm glad I am. It's like, um, and it makes me feel good when people tell me. I've had people tell me on Bigo, uh, I came in your life and you were doing the gospel, and it saved my life. I was going to kill myself, and I no
oh
longer want to
wow.
kill myself. I've been told
Mm,
that. I've had been told people, you've got me through a downtime. I was so depressed, and just coming in here, you helped lift my depression. It's a lot of people told me like how me just doing what I do and creating the content that I create has helped them, and basically that's part of the reason why my productions will not leave Bigo. However, me as a host, um, I just got to go because, like I said, I'm not happy with the agency situation that I'm in, and I can't continue to make money for someone and they not help me the way that they're supposed to help me.
exactly. I don't blame you on that. But I want to thank you as well, because I mean, my channel is new. I started my channel back in 2019, but then I stopped. I didn't do anything last year, and I just got it started back this year. So, I do different things on here, like my makeup. I've done unboxing, things of that nature. And my hyena sister Rachel is the one that got me into doing the interviews. I was like, okay, I like Zaddy. Let me ask him, and I asked you, and boom. I mean, for me to be a total stranger at the time, that was so nice of you to come on here for a little peon like myself and share not only your career, but your life experiences. So you are helping me build my channel. I'm just trying to be relevant on here and have gotten in my mind, that I want to make money from home and on this social media. I'm getting real serious about it. So I double want to thank you as well for helping me in return. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, if you have anything else you want to share with us before we
Um,
go, or anything you want to tell us?
uh, no, I think that's about it. Yeah. And I just feel I just firmly when I believe something, um, and I believe God has put it there. I passionately believe it, and there's no shaking me from thinking it. And then not some and sometimes when I think certain things are going on, I try not to say anything. I try to wait for confirmation. And the thing is, a lot of this has been going on, and I've received confirmation time and time and time again that this is what's going on, which confirms for me that my blessing is coming. I must be near it because
Yeah.
once again, I'm about to flourish financially, and this same demon is attacking me. And like I said,
Mhm.
this is bigger than me. This is bigger than her. This is bigger than BIGO. This is bigger than social media. Um, just because I am on social media, uh, mostly, most of my day is spent on social media. Um, the percentage being on social media versus doing something outside of social media is very huge. It's almost like 1% to 99%. I'm on or either or sleep on here, social media, or walking to the store. And when I'm walking to the store, I'm still on social media. So most
Mhm.
of my life is consumed with social media. So what other place then to attach itself to someone on social media to attack me? And that tells me that okay, I must be in a place where I'm getting ready to flourish financially. So I'm just like staying prayerful and knowing that in the end I win and trying not to let it get to me, and just preparing myself to receive God's blessing.
Amen to that. And like I told you before, with all you're going through, God got something, for you around the corner. Because anytime God has something for you, the devil is always in the midst trying to block you. But he got to realize he can't because God is God.
Hmm.
Yes. So thank you so much, everybody that's came into the live. Thank you for joining us.
I can't see
And
the people. Are there people here?
you know, the only way you'll know who's actually in here is if they comment. Court came in. I don't know if he's still in here or not. It's still two people in here right now. Um,
Do we have any
all
questions
people
in
have
the
coming.
comments?
Huh?
I said, are there any questions in the comments?
No, the only Court. He's under a different name, but he said he was Court. But that's it. Everybody else haven't said anything.
Oh, okay. But it says it's two people, right?
Right, two people right now. Some people have come and gone, so but there's still two people up there right now
Oh, okay.
that
Well,
hadn't said anything.
if they don't have any questions, then I guess that's it. We're done, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us. And Zaddy, as always, thank you for coming and sharing your life experiences with us and blessing us. And if any of you are on BIGO, go look for Zaddy. And when he go to the other place, I have to have him come back again and talk about the other place. So you can follow him over there too.
And actually, to find me there, right now, I'm at Zaddy.Dragon. Dot. There's a dragon in the middle. I mean, a dot in the middle and a dot on the end. The zero is the O is a zero. But after the first on Bigo, that particular profile I will no longer be using. I won't even log into it anymore. I'm just going to leave that as my legacy profile, showing what my Bigo legacy was as a host. So the numbers and stuff will just stay there and be froze, and I'll just leave it the way it is. I won't go in it anymore. But if you want to find me after that and find my my programming that I will be providing on Bigo still, the productions, which are on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I mean 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Um, The BIGO ID is the same, Zaddy dot Dragon dot, and the zero is the O is still a zero. So it's just an extra dot in the middle.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Do you have anything planned tonight, later on tonight?
Actually,
After we
yeah, I
get off
got a
here?
I got a contest that I'm getting ready to do. I think it's starting in about 5 minutes, so I definitely got
Oh,
to get out of here.
all
Uh,
right.
to get over there to back to Bigo and get dressed for this contest.
Okay. And where is that? That country?
I know his name is Peanut. He's on the exclusive. He's an exclusive bar family. I'm not sure what his Bigo ID is. I have to still look all that up. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 9:30 or 10:30.
Okay. Well, thank you again so much. And I would try to look for you on that event.
All right. Well, yeah. What I'll do is, once I leave here, I'm gonna figure out what's going on with that contest, and I'm gonna go live as I get ready and let people know where I'll be.
All right. Well, I'll be looking for you. Thank you again. And thank you to everybody that joined us. And everybody have a blessed night. See you next time.
All right. Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all. Thank you.